5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate very much your generous invitation to be here tonight. You bear heavy responsibilities these days.
Welcome to Stock Legends Radio Show, seeking answers, opinions, and the inside scoop, putting you in the front seat on Wall Street.
In today's market,
This is breaking news. Where is it going next?
StockLegends.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Stock Legends Radio, Episode 9. Please welcome today's hosts, myself, Quick Draw, also Matt Chart, our Senior Technical Analyst. Matt Chart, welcome to the Stock Legends Radio Show.
Hey, happy to be back.
Oh, it feels great. After a couple months of a bad case of mono, I don't wish that on anybody. I am happy to be back with the radio show, and it feels good, doesn't it, Matt?
Yeah, it's great to be back and doing our radio show again. We had a quite a long break there. You're out of commission for a while, and now you're fully recovered, and we're ready to kick things off again.
Absolutely. We're ready to rock and roll. As always, we've got a fun and excited show lined up for you today. We're going to do our normal market recap segment of the show, cover a couple of very hot topics, and then for the second half of the show, we have Photo Chick and Nilbud from PennyStockTweets.com on for a personal one-on-one interview where they unveil their new social networking trading platform. So make sure you stay tuned for the second half of the show. Before we get into the meat and potatoes of the first segment, Matt, let's take a quick look at the world markets and what is going on with physical metals.
Well, I have an article coming out here. Everyone go to StockLegends.com under the article section. Done an interesting analysis here on the what's been happening in the silver market for the past several months. And there's been quite a number of interesting events that have pushed the silver price in one way or another. We're going to talk about the CME increasing margin requirements and what sort of effect that has had. And there's also been several, seems like, bear market raids being attacked on the silver market. We had one just a few weeks ago and actually proved to be unsuccessful. We saw over 100 million ounces of silver being dumped into the market in about 7 minutes. And typically that would knock the price down, but it was interesting. There was someone in there buying up all of the panic selling going on, or the bear raid that happened. And silver seems to be just about ready to break out and finish this long-term consolidation. But it seems like they're trying to do what they can to keep the price back down.
The report is actually very unique, and as always, I'd like to commend your charting capabilities here. We really want you to go to StockLegends.com. It's actually under the Reports tab. It's called the Reports tab on top, not the Articles tab, but under the Reports tab, click it. It'll be the most recent one closest to the top. It's plain as day, what's been happening with the gold and silver prices, and they're being artificially held down. On your charts, you have the dates, the exact days and points circled where the margin requirements and hikes came into effect, and you can see the price plummet from 49 to 32, and then back from 41 all the way down to 29, and then right now at 35, Bernanke just announced no QE3. So obviously they have some analysts that are watching the markets, and they're kind of playing it for what it's worth, and we'll get into a little bit more of that afterwards. The Dow closed at 12,978, almost 13,000. How do you think the recent headlines and world activities will affect the U.S. markets here coming up in the next couple of weeks, Matt?
Well, I mean, there's still lots of concerns of what's going on in Europe. The financial swap agreement that the Federal Reserve has implemented several months back is providing tons of liquidity into Europe. I find it interesting that, Ben Bernanke, the hot topic of the word is right now that we're not going to have any QE3. We don't need to stimulate the markets. But if you actually look at the Fed's balance sheet, QE3 is actually already in effect. And this is something that the media is not reporting on. It's not what you're getting on your Financial Times daily headlines. Everyone believes that QE3 is not happening. And, we saw a pullback in the precious metals markets because people are expecting that. And it's bearish for traders to expect something like that. That sort of a news. People are expecting QE3 to stimulate the economy, but it's already going on, and they don't want to call it QE3 because they're afraid that precious metals are going to take off like a rocket. So they're quietly doing it. They're through the swap agreement, they've provided over $100 billion into the European Central Bank, and this is allowing the European Central Bank to increase their balance sheets via U.S. dollars going into the into Europe. So instead of the United States stimulating the U.S. financial banking system, they're actually doing it through a backdoor sort of a scenario where they're funneling U.S. dollars through a bailout process into Europe. So the American people are actually currently bailing out Europe at the moment. And although you don't want to call it QE3, it basically is, that's exactly what it is. And Ben Bernanke went out and said, no, we're not going to have QE3, but yet we have it going on. If you look at what the Federal Reserve's doing, they're filling up their balance sheets, and it is QE3. You know, it's a rose by any other name, and it's still a rose, to give the famous quote by Shakespeare. So, I mean, this is exactly what is going on. We're getting more misinformation coming from the Federal Reserve, and they don't want to tell the American people what's going on.
I think people are becoming more and more alert to the situations and what's actually going on. I saw a great video. Ron Paul basically brutalized Bernanke, and you watched the same thing alongside with me. He was talking about the fact that the fiat currencies always fail. So this is more or less a test project, and that a 1913 silver dollar, what was the quote that he went into on there was basically,
well, he basically called the you know what the Federal Reserve's doing in their printing press. He called it an experiment, and that the Federal Reserve fiat experiment is now beginning to come to an end because they've racked up so much debt. The debt is becoming unserviceable. You can't pay back the debt. We're overspending far too much, and you know, this is how things always happen. Current fiat currencies always collapse. I'm actually in the middle of a great book right now called Currency Wars by James Rickards, and I suggest anyone that's interested in what's going on in the global currency markets or political markets to pick this book up, because basically he's showing that through various actions of all of these other nations, that being primarily of Russia, China, Japan, Iran, Brazil, these countries are making moves right now to pull away from the US dollar. And this is the canary in the coal mine, everybody, that the US dollar is not going to be the world reserve currency forever. And the US economy is basically powerless to stop this inevitable demise. And Ron Paul's raising the warning flag, and same with James Rickards. And, you know, it's baked in the cake. I know we all know it's coming, and it's going to come sooner or later, and the Federal Reserve is going to do everything that they can to either deny its existence or pretend it's not going to happen. But Ron Paul's out there calling Bernanke out and saying you're destroying and devaluing the dollar. He had a great analogy I really liked with using a builder, because the Federal Reserve's changing the value of the dollar all the time, and how can you have a plan and economy when the value of the dollar is changing all the time? He likened it to being a home builder using a measuring stick, and your measurements change all the time. Well, you'd have a very imbalanced house, just like we have a very imbalanced economy. I thought he put it very plainly, and it was excellent to hear.
a lot of the listeners today might not even realize, you touched on it real quickly there, Saddam, Gaddafi basically turned their back on the US dollar. A lot of people do not know that Gaddafi had gone to, the African nations and were basically talking about the US dollar. And they're saying, hey, for our oil and for our commodities, we don't want to accept a devalued currency anymore. So they were talking about going to what was the exact terminology? A gold-backed dinar. Was that correct? Yeah,
well, that's right. Gaddafi is sitting on 144 tons of gold that could easily back a new currency. And he was having meetings with the rest of Africa, and a lot of the other African countries were on board to adopt this new gold-backed currency. And our media told us that, he's a bad dictator and we can't have this sort of a person in power. But there's always another reason behind it. And a lot of people point to the fact that they had oil. Well, that's true. And usually war is about resources. And Libya did have oil, but they also had a lot of gold, and they also have freshwater aquifers there that he used to basically build that country up. Libya is was one of the wealthiest nations, if not the wealthiest nation in all of Africa. I mean, they had a lot of resources. And, when you have someone that is suggesting that the US dollar is not going to play a role in trade, the United States becomes very concerned. We saw something very similar. This almost parallels to what happened in Iraq back in, I think it was 2000 or 2001. Saddam Hussein from Iraq said, hey, we're going to drop the US dollar. We're going to do all our oil trade in euros. And just after that, we started hearing about weapons of mass destruction. And turns out there was no weapons of mass destruction, and we took them out. And oil is still being traded in Iraq with U.S. dollars today. I mean, that's 12 years later. If Saddam had his way, he would have dropped the U.S. dollar. But it's interesting to see because it's like there is a war going on. It's a currency war that's happening right now, and the United States is trying to protect the U.S. dollar, although they're devaluing their currency by debasing it through the Federal Reserve monetization policy and through the bailout process. They are trying to keep their hegemony and prevent countries from dropping the U.S. dollar. It's not like they can go and evade Iraq. They can't go and evade China and Japan and Brazil and these countries that are currently dropping the U.S. dollar, but they can go and invade small Middle Eastern countries like Iraq and Libya who intend to drop the U.S. dollar, but they're losing their grip. Now these larger nations are dropping the U.S. dollar, and there's nothing they can do. And it's a cascading spiral that's starting to begin. It started in around 2010. We started seeing articles. So it's only been a year or two that nations are beginning to move away. And if you look at a timeline, you'll see it's beginning to accelerate. More and more countries are beginning to diversify out of the U.S. dollar. And unless the Federal Reserve changes their policies, we're going to see this continue. And they're not giving any indication they intend to reverse the current monetary policies that are being implemented right now.
Now, I want your honest opinion on this. Your honest opinion, yes or no. Do you think we could... Now, here's the thing for me. The fact of the matter that I'm at a crossroads where I am not sure whether or not the president or anybody in higher government would actually assassinate somebody that was getting ready to release some less than good news about the president back in the 70s and 80s. Do you think it would get to the point if you were campaigning that the president would actually go to the point to having somebody assassinated? And, it's a very unique situation because they say that he was walking, he fell to the ground, he had some heart issues. He was brought to the hospital, he was pronounced dead. Now, how many hours was that before he was supposed to go on TV? What was it, 2 or 3 hours?
Well, I think the next morning he was supposed to. Well, for those of you guys out there that haven't been following this news story, Breitbart, head of a major news organization, he put some politicians in jail, embarrassed some political people. He's one of those people that tried to, he used the media as a tool to bring out corruption. And he has some tapes of Obama back in his university days where he was participating with some terrorist organizations. And this is all allegedly. I don't think very many people have seen these tapes. But he's got several tapes is what he's saying. And these people that Obama was fraternizing with were convicted of trying to overthrow the U.S. government, to create terrorist attacks against the U.S. government. And it sounds almost insane that Obama would be with these sorts of groups, whether he holds these views or not. And Breitbart said, I'm going to release these tapes on March 1st, several days ago. And he announced this about 3 weeks ago at several different times. Says, I have these tapes. It's going to completely destroy Obama's career. It's going to reverse the tide. Obama is not going to get elected next time after the American people see these tapes. And all of a sudden, he has a heart attack and dies, and the tapes don't get released. Coincidence or not, I don't know. Maybe he was under a lot of stress and it triggered a heart problem. I think he's had heart issues before. Maybe he was getting a lot of threats about releasing these tapes. Certainly he was pressured, at least to some extent, not to release these tapes. I mean, obviously Obama doesn't want these tapes to come out, and we do know that the United States government does pressure the media to cover certain topics or not cover certain topics. So you can guarantee that he was pressured, whether the pressure was enough to give him a heart attack or whether it was some other reason. We don't have a coroner's report. I guess we'll have to wait for it to come out. But I find it very untimely. And, the tapes haven't been released. They're going to release them in 7 to 10 days. Will the tapes come out? Will they be different than what we were originally expecting to see? I don't know. But there's also some major news radio show talk show hosts like Michael Savage and Alex Jones have both been speculating in their gut feelings. They think that, Breitbart was assassinated. And I heard that apparently in confidence to some of these radio show hosts that a lot of Breitbart's very close friends also were speculating that he was murdered. So I'm sitting on the fence. I want to see these tapes come out and see the coroner's report and see what happens.
But isn't it already too late? I mean, the closing sentence, if the tapes come out, he died of a heart attack, the caller said. If the tapes don't come out, they whacked him. So now,
Exactly.
I mean, we're already days past.
Yeah,
so,
the tapes
I mean, you've
didn't
got
come out, right?
the topics of this first half of the show. And again, we're just speaking headlines and our opinions. We're not trying to get people together to think one way or another or anything like that. All we're trying to do is trying to put this in front of you and let you grasp some of these subjects and base your own conclusions. But, I think what we're seeing is almost like when a waiter walks through a restaurant and they've got a giant tray full of plates and dishes and it gets a little wobbly, one of them falls off, and then from there it just starts going even more and more and more until the plate actually drops. What I think we're seeing is all these major headlines, the changing of the currency, all these different things. We're seeing the government get hit with all of these major issues at once, and we're seeing them trying to eliminate them and take care of them in the quickest, quietest way possible. But they're not slowing down. Just more and more things are getting thrown at them. And I think the people as a whole are becoming better educated.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, information is out there. It's easily accessible. A lot of people are turning away from the mainstream media to watch alternative news programs like what we have here or other alternative places where people aren't afraid to speak their minds and not follow the political agenda of what our government wants us to talk about. And so, there's so much information out there, and I really encourage people to go out and actively seek as much information as they can. I'm an information junkie. I research stuff all the time, and I think it's made myself a more educated, independent thinker than the type of person I was before. I think independent thinking is very important these days, and most people just turn on the television and try and just, let their opinions be formed by what they see instead of taking an active role in finding information and trying to seek the truth out for themselves.
We have an exciting week planned for the traders this week, starting with a highlight stock, ticker SPAH. This is Spectrum Acquisition Holdings, a gold stock. We all know where gold's going. It's been on a breakout for a very long period of time. There's no one that doesn't know about that. Some industry analysts are projecting $2,000 plus ounce of gold in the very short term. We have Spectrum here that has 400 acres of mining claim that sits on one of the largest gold producing riverbeds or river systems in the country. So not only that, they have 2 patents that they own in biomining, and they have 1 patent pending. So this is a company that has some great things going on, some excellent due diligence, and also based on the actual technicals on the chart, it couldn't be in a better position. It's sitting right on the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, I did the technical chart. I was looking at this chart. I said, wow, this is a great opportunity for people to get in on this stock. It looks like it's at a technical bottom. It's sitting at a very long-term key support level, and the volatility has just gotten really narrow. And we saw last time the volatility got real narrow, the stock ran, had over 100% run. And we're looking for something similar coming Monday. So certainly everyone get that one on your radar. Technicals look great. Quick Draw, you mentioned something about biomining. It's probably a term a lot of people haven't heard before. Do you think you can tell us a little bit about what biomining is?
Biomining more or less would be the use of different technologies to actually break down for the desired substance. It would be the process of basically removing whatever type of metal or whatever type of substance you're trying to remove from the sediment or rock or whatever might have you, and converting that into the desirable outcome, which in this case would be gold.
Very interesting.
So I think it's a segment of the market that, is hot. I mean, nothing's hotter than biomining, especially, as we were just talking about. We've got these major countries that are starting to look and say, hey, you know what? We don't really want to give you our oil anymore for fiat currency, for a declining currency. We've already got boxes and boxes of this money that's worth nothing. Let's go to a gold-backed or, a silver-backed type of currency. Ron Paul said it. These major countries are saying, I mean, it's the talk of the town, to say the least, probably the talk of the world, Whether or not it will happen without things having to get too chaotic, who really knows? But if
Yeah.
it does, and the natural value of these desirable precious metals is actually able to be calculated and not held down, I think these types of mining claims and people with these patents and things of this nature, I mean, this is going to be the go-to sector. It could potentially be money in the short term, in the near future, 5 years, 6 years, who knows? But the fact of the matter is it has to be calculated into that equation, when you're investing in these stocks. I think gold is extremely hot. I think this company's laid out well. I think based on the technicals, it's a great entry. I'd like to think that with the promotion, we see an increase in volume up against the bottom chart. It's going to equal a breakout.
Couldn't say it better myself. You got it.
Yep. So it's a good opportunity for our listeners to be able to get in, ride that wave. Also, we've had some phenomenal technical calls throughout the course of the week. We want you to check our board on Investors Hub and Investors Hangout, Stock Legends board. We have some phenomenal intraday plays. DKGR, we took for over 40% earlier in the week, 32% at the end of the week. VPR has been on watch, sitting on the 50-day moving average at 0.0018 for the support. That's an easy flip until the big run comes between 1.8 and 2.4, 2.3. And then we've got PVSP that I've been watching at that 3-cent mark. I called the 3-cent mark days before it touched it, and I think it's a good loading opportunity. Of course, you might want to get in that stock and watch and decide once the uptrend has actually been defined, because it's kind of sitting in an in-between place right now. It could go up, could go down. I like it for a good position to be able to accumulate some shares that's oversold.
Yeah, and I think traders need to come by the Stock Legends board, and we don't get a chance to send out emails on all of our plays, but certainly there's a lot of great calls being made, and we've got a lot of traffic and a lot of traders that are following and making calls on the Stock Legends board. And I put charts up when I can for people that are looking to make some money in some trades. So certainly be sure to stop by the Stock Legends Investors Hub board and the Investors Hangout board and check those out. And lots of great activity happening there every day.
We're very excited about our guests coming up after the short commercial break. We will have PhotoChick and Nilbud from PennyStockTweets.com. Very exciting, this new platform that they rolled out. Please stay tuned. We'll be back after this short break.
Wondering about your retirement portfolio? Is your financial advisor experienced enough to combat rising interest rates, taxes, and inflation? Stop guessing and go to the expert, Robert Chapman of the International Forecaster. With 45 years of experience and concise investment recommendations, who needs sugar-coated excuses? Get the cold hard facts and a proven investment strategy. For a free introductory copy to the International Forecaster, call 877-479-8178 or go to theinternationalforecaster.com. That's 877-479-8178. 877-479-8178.
Sweetheart, now you're getting a little bit older. What do you want to do when you grow up?
Daddy, when I get older, I want to flip stocks.
You want to flip stocks? Well, how are you going to go about flipping stocks?
StockLegends.com, duh.
StockLegends.com? I heard that they have the best stock picks around.
Of course they do, Dad. Time is money. I gotta go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back from that short commercial break. We are very excited about our special guests that we're having today and would like to welcome them to the show. Please welcome Nilbud and PhotoChick from PennyStockTweets.com.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you. We're so happy to be here.
It's our pleasure. First and foremost, I'd like to congratulate you guys on all of your recent success with Penny Stock Tweets. You guys have managed to design a usable, functional platform, social media platform. It's amazing. Congratulations on all your success.
Thanks. It's not been easy.
Thank you.
I'm sure it was a long road.
It was.
It sure was. Yeah, we actually started the thought process, brainstormed it a year ago this month, actually. The development started in April. And so this has been a year-long project, and we're very pleased to see the product now in the development stage that it's in, and expect more. I mean, this is just the beginning. We have a lot of things in the works.
Now, how many members are you up to right now on your site?
We currently, right now, we have 981, and this isn't live, so we expect to be over 1,000 by the time this airs.
Wow. So, okay, I remember when you first started this up. What was your exact start date again?
It was about a month and a half ago. I don't know what the
Yeah,
I think it
exact
was
date was.
January 8th, I think it was.
Was it?
January 8th. Wow. So you guys have you have 900 members, and we're talking about a month and a half into the operations.
Yeah, yeah. And we haven't even begun advertising it yet. Mostly word of mouth.
Let's explain this platform a little bit for somebody that potentially does not know and is not familiar with penny stock tweets. We have a radio show on a lot of different forums. So for the average stock trader listening to this, they might be curious as to, what does it have to offer? How can I use this as a social networking tool? I use it all the time, but why don't you explain the ins and outs and the overall layout and business plan for the website?
Sure. Why don't I start off with explaining to you how we do it? And basically how we do it is we have what's known as a fire hose comes from Twitter, which means that every time somebody mentions a penny stock ticker, and that's anything trading in the OTC, pink sheets, OTC BB, etc., that is trading for less than $5. So from $5 all the way down to 0001, we pick up every time that ticker is mentioned on Twitter. That comes into us via a feed, and that gets posted on the website. Now, what we do is we calculate every time a ticker is mentioned. This is for our top 15 buzz. We calculate every time the ticker is mentioned, and we multiply that by the amount of times somebody is mentioning it. And then here's the most important part of it. We multiply that by the amount of followers that they have. So the tickers that are on the top 15, they are not just the tickers that are being mostly talked about, the tickers that are being mostly seen by people.
Right. Also, as part of this platform, we have a lot of other features that are available to people in different segments of the markets. For example, if you're a promoter, there's a disclosure button, and you press the disclosure button, and that automatically attaches your disclaimer to your tweet. So I think this really needs to be utilized by people. In today's day and age, what we're seeing is a changing in the industry. The industry was unregulated, well, minorly regulated for a long period of time. And that has an effect on the overall market. Investors are taking advantage of, and CEOs or third parties aren't acting the way that they should. So the SEC decided to step up their presence in the over-the-counter market, and I'm happy they did. They really needed to. But this disclaimer button will put your disclaimer on all of your tweets. I mean, if you're out and you're promoting a stock and you're not disclaiming, I see a lot of guys half disclaim and they're still not really disclaiming. You really want to be as transparent as possible. And this is an excellent feature for somebody to be able to promote on all different social networking platforms, and it's something that's not standard with Twitter. So I love that feature.
Yeah, the best part about that feature is that it only takes up one character. So where you've got a 140 character limit on Twitter and only one character is being taken up by your disclaimer, then you still have plenty of room to get your message through.
Exactly.
Now what we did, and you hit on it there, is what we did, because we've been traders, we are promoters. So what we did is we designed the site so that it'd be very helpful for traders, but also very helpful for promoters. So with that, that's basically the premise that we had in our head when we designed the site. We wanted it to be something that everybody could use and get a lot of use out of. Now, we kind of touched on it there, but just to explain to people, because all that we've talked about so far is the feed coming in. Also, what Penny Stock Tweets does is it allows you to post a message. The message gets posted on the site. The site is linked up to your Twitter account, your Facebook account, and your iHub account. So when you send out a message, it's not just going to one website. It's going out to your Twitter, it's going out to your Facebook, and it's going out to two boards on iHub. And we picked two of the most popular boards, Stock Goodies Plays of the Week and BB's Stockhaven. Now, if for whatever reason you didn't want to post on BB's Stockhaven, you can navigate once that box opens to another board that you might like to post on. Let's say if you had your own board on iHub, you can navigate over to there and post your message over there. As well as being able to post messages, we also gave the ability to post charts. And when you click on the charts to post a chart, you can either upload a chart from your desktop, or you can put a link, a hyperlink from stock charts, from big charts, or from free stock charts. And what happens when you do that is your post shows up on Penny Stock Tweets with a little thumbnail on the upper right hand side of your post, that when people click on that, it opens a window that has that chart that you posted. And we also put that utility in there for YouTube videos. So all that you need to do is you click on the video section of the post and you put the hyperlink to YouTube, and it'll put that video up on the website.
Will that also post the video or a link to the video on the other platforms?
It'll post
As a link.
Yeah,
As a link.
it'll post it as a link. It won't show up as a thumbnail like it does on our site,
Right.
but it will show up as a link.
For the active trader, when you're trading stocks, the ability to be able to put information out there as quickly as possible, when a stock's breaking out, a lot of times, especially in the over-the-counter market, you might only have 5 or 10 seconds to really get in a position to be able to profit on a moving stock. So to be able to actually drive that data and information to all those networks from one place is strategical for any trader. Be able to cut down your time. I really personally like the 3D Skyscraper tool. I think you guys did a phenomenal job with this. What it does, it shows you a visual image of the highlight stocks, of the hot stocks, and then it also shows you their volumes and what's going on with the stock. And how many stocks does that Skyscraper hold? Was it 20 or 30?
No, we have 100 stocks in each price range. So
Wow.
on the 000s, you got 100 000s, you got 100 000s, 100 single zeros, and then you have 100 from 10 cent to 99 cent, and then $100 and above. And
Wow.
you can toggle to see all of the market all at one time, or you can look at whatever price range you're interested in. Some people like to play the 000s, so they can just watch the 000s, and it's real time. So you can see what stocks are getting the most amount of buzz in real time. And we also put the 3D Skyscraper for dollar volume and percentage change. Now, the difference with our dollar volume and most dollar volumes that you find on other websites is our dollar volume is calculated, comes in via stream from NASDAQ of every single trade. So it adds up every trade and how much money was spent on each of those trades. And what it doesn't do is it doesn't calculate the market makers' trades between each other. So when you see a stock trading all day and you've been watching the time and sales or the level 2 on it, and then 2 minutes after the closing bell, you'll see a huge order come through. It's a Form T order. It won't calculate that into the dollar volume for trading because it's not a real trade. So it just calculates all the real trades. Now, also, I just want to explain to everybody, because we just talked about it being visual. To visualize what this looks like visually, if you can imagine looking down on Manhattan from a helicopter, and every single building represents a stock ticker, and the tallest building is the one with the most amount of buzz on it, and the lowest building is the one with the least amount of buzz on it. And that's what you're looking at when you look at the Skyscraper view.
So it's a quick scan and you know where the money's going, basically.
Exactly.
Another thing that I like is that this is a spam-free platform. When you follow Twitter, I know myself personally, I think we have close to, 7,000 followers. But, there's a lot of followers in there that are posting things that we're not interested in. And no matter how you run your Twitter account, those are the kind of things that you get. So if you're actively trading and you're looking for stocks to come through, it kind of comes through. It's a little bit of a jumbled mess. Where when you go to Penny Stock Tweets, they're just posting about stocks. That's the 5 and under market. And those are active traders. Those are people that are currently trading stocks, and they're real numbers. I mean, if you have 500 followers, 400 followers, whatever it is on there, those are people that are getting your tweets and they're following your plays, and they want to know where the money's going. So it's not an altered illusion type of reality, which is what I feel Twitter is a lot of the time. Just because there's so much out there, it's really hard to grasp a solid concept of what's going on.
Well, plus you have to be following somebody to see their tweets.
Right, exactly.
So you've got to look at. I have no idea how many people are on Twitter following, posting about stocks, but if we've already got 1,000 members in a month, I'd say that figure is probably somewhere in the tens of thousands. So you got to be following tens of thousands of people, and then you have to weed out, as you say, the white noise that they're creating, talking about, I'm sitting outside sipping my coffee and whatever else they might be tweeting about to actually find the information that you want on penny stocks. So we bring it all together, put it all in one place, and then we sort it out. That's the main part about it, so that you can be watching these skyscraper views and see in real time when the stocks are being talked about.
Right.
And with the dollar volume, you're going to see the money coming into the stock. It's got a 15-minute delay, unfortunately, but it is a real-time 15-minute delay. So you'll see 15 minutes after a stock starts getting a lot of volume coming into a dollar volume we're talking about, you're going to see it move on that chart.
The skyscraper is based off numbers of people that are talking about the stock. A lot of times I'll think of stock, man, the stock's really getting a lot of buzz, and I check and there's 600 posts, but 550 of them were from one person.
Yeah.
So it's tough, especially when you're coming into the business, to find out, hey, who's really in this? Is this a good play? How many people are interested in looking at the stock? And with the buzz cloud, you get the full picture. Hey, a lot of people are talking about it. Here's the actual volume. Here's all the raw data on a quick scan. It's very convenient. It's built for active traders. I mean, the full platform is active. You can watch everything from there. You can, handle your social networking platforms from there, and also see where other people are putting their money, and, maybe research those stocks.
Okay, well, just to go over a couple of the other features that we have, Les, why don't you tell them what happens when you mouse over a ticker? Whether that ticker be in the buzz cloud, the skyscraper, or inside a message.
Well, what we created here was the abilities of seeing the trade details from that ticker for the current day, trading day. And so when you mouse over the ticker, what you're going to see is you're going to see the name of the company. You're going to see what price that it's trading at currently. And this is real-time, 15-minute delayed. So keep that in mind. Then you're going to see what kind of volume that the ticker currently has in that stock. And then the next thing what it gives you is something that we wanted to give to our members is the dollar volume, and you're not going to find that anywhere else on the internet. We feel like the dollar volume is so important, so people can see the liquidity in the stock, and so not just the volume, you get the dollar volume, you get the percent change. Then we have the buzz ranking. And we feel like that's important, so people can see kind of where it's at, how much chatter is going on that stock, and it gives you the number of trades. Now, this is really important because you might go to the percent change on the skyscraper. The tower is really tall, and you might mouse over it, and might say it's up 300%, and it's had one trade, and it might have $50 through it. Well, that's so much different from another ticker that might be up 100% with 500 trades and $100,000 through it. So we feel like all of these things are very important for traders to know. And so that way, when they mouse over the ticker, they can see all of the details of what that trading day has been going on for it. And it also gives you a little intraday chart. So you can see the chart itself too throughout the trading day. And we just feel like this is a very important tool for our members to have.
Especially the way that it's laid out, because the way the posts they come in sequential order. So you can actually just mouse over multiple stocks in a row and be able to really get an idea, just going right down the row on who's focusing on which stocks.
Right. So, yeah. It's not a click feature. It's a mouse over. So you can just go through there, mouse through our stream, mouse over the map, our 3D map. wherever you're at, and you can get some really quick, fast information on these stocks. And it's real important in a person's trading to know what's going on. You don't have to sit there with a calculator and figure everything up and see where it's at. It tells you.
One thing that you did miss out on PhotoChick is the promotion, because the promoters on the website have the ability to click on a
Advertise.
stock and let people know that they're advertising that stock. You see a stock that's running, when you mouse over it, you'll see what promoters behind that stock. So if the stock is actually being promoted. But another cool thing is, from the mouse over where you get the drop down, if you actually click on that stock, it's going to take you to the stock specific page. Now, what the stock specific page gives you is, first of all, it'll give you all of the tweets on that stock. So you'll see who's been tweeting on it on Twitter. You'll see who's been messaging about it on penny stock tweets. Then you'll have the ability to follow the stock, which will add it to your watch list. You'll see the pink sheet tier, which will tell you whether the stock is a caveat emptor, a yield, a stop, an OTC BB fully reporting. So you get to see what tier it is right away. And then we added another feature, which is only about 2 weeks old, and that's the Plus More feature. What Plus More does is it allows you to visit iHub, Pink Sheets, Yahoo Finance, the Yahoo Finance message board, the bar chart opinion, bar chart cheat sheet, stock charts, YouTube, stock scores, the Lion, a regular Google search for the company, the Google message board on Google Finance, Stock TA, and the NASDAQ website. And when you click on any of those buttons, and it's very easy to do so, you just see these buttons with the icons for each of those sites on it once you're on that ticker specific page. Once you click on any of those, it opens up a new window which takes you to that website and automatically puts the ticker in there. So you are on the page on that website that's connected to the ticker that you're looking at. So
Amazing.
imagine how easy that is for doing DD. You can go around all these sites and never have to hit your keyboard.
I just pulled up this Stock TA website. I've never actually been on this website, but I'm clicking on the link right now, and this is giving supports, resistance. I mean, bar signals. So this is an amazing tool. I never even noticed this here.
Yes, we handpick these sites too.
Wow,
these are
that's
sites
excellent.
that we use, that we have given classes on how to use to traders. And so we were very particular as to what resources we were going to put into our Plus More, and then we made it so user friendly. Just one click, and you don't have to navigate anymore. It's going to take you straight to the quote detail, or right straight to a chart. It's going to take you straight to the iHub board, messaging board. So you don't have to navigate any further. It's just all the information that you need is just right there.
Let's talk a little bit about this advertise this stock feature.
Yes.
This is designed for promoters. Okay, and if you are a promoter, what you got to do is, when you register on the Penny Stock Tweets, you will go over to where your name is on the top right-hand side and request promoter status. And then we'll have to check it and make sure that you are a legitimate promoter and that you do have a website, and that you're not just somebody saying that you're a promoter, or somebody saying that, somebody who's stuck in a stock might go in there and say that they are Awesome Penny Picks or Titan or somebody like that, and say that they're promoting a stock to try and move the stock that they're stuck in. We do check it out and make sure that the person is connected to the site that they say they're connected to. Once you're approved as a promoter, you click on advertise this stock, and you put in the start date and time for your awareness and the end date and time for your awareness, so that whenever anybody mouses over the ticker that you're doing awareness on, the day that you're doing the awareness on it, they will see that it's your website that sent out a newsletter on it.
Oh, okay. What a great feature.
Yeah, and we also have in the filters over on the left side of the page, we have being advertised.
Mhm.
And at any time you can click on there and you can see what stocks are being advertised at currently. And this is something that we don't do this ourselves on the site. The promoters have to come onto the site and they need to advertise their stocks and the time frame that they're being advertised in. So it's up to them to make sure that information's in there. But once it's there, it's real easy. You can just go over there and click on being advertised through the filters, and you can see all the stocks that are being advertised that day.
So for traders that are looking for a good promotional company to follow, whose picks are consistent and where can they make some money, they can check the being advertised tab and see, hey, Stock Legends is on this one's 40% or whoever's on it, and be able to follow that track record.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Perfect.
Exactly. Below the plus war, we have an intraday chart that when clicked on will open up a daily chart, and you can set that chart up to include any of the indicators that you like to use, and then you save it so that every time you visit a stock, it automatically has the indicators that you like to use in the chart that you pull up.
Oh, wow. And is that limited looks like you get 3 indicators. Is it limited to 3?
I believe you can have 3 on the upper and 2 within the chart.
Oh yeah, here you go. Yep, 3 upper and 3 lower. Okay, so yeah, that's plenty. And then so now you've got a comparison section. It looks like there's room for about 10 ticker symbols. Now, how would that display? Would you put together almost like a chart list, and be able to, would they overlap, or is it going to pull them all simultaneously?
They will overlap. Yes.
Oh, okay.
For instance, before we came on the show, we were talking about the marijuana stocks, the hemp, CBIS, etc., etc. You could put in all of those marijuana stocks and have them all overlapping each other, showing you which ones are performing best out of that sector.
Perfect. So if you're looking for sector specific, you can look for industry trends and say, hey, these stocks seem to be making a move right now. What a great tool. Now, is there an option to do any annotations or anything on that, or?
No, there isn't an option to do an annotation on it, but we are going to talk with the stock chart website, the people that own the stock charts, free stock charts, big charts, and we're going to see if they will include a penny stock tweets button on their charts, so that when you go there and you annotate it, you can click the penny stock tweets button and post that chart right on the site.
Right, and you can actually still annotate it and then put a short link or upload it to the penny stock tweets.
Yeah.
Either way. So
the whole thing is about making it easy.
Exactly.
Yes.
So
exactly.
Then below the chart, we give the company name, the address, the description, and the share structure, which a lot of people like to see. And then below that, we have links to their news and to their filings. Below that, we'd have any annotated charts or videos on the website pertaining to that stock.
So that'll be saved on the site. So anyone else that's looking at the stock will be able to view any video charts or annotated.
Right.
Yeah, once you post it on the site, it'll go to that tickers page automatically.
And you can search tickers, you can search users, you can find out, who's in the money and follow them right from the search tab at the top. So you'll find your favorite people that are, taking profits and follow them and make money. It's what it's all about. Are there any other?
And you only have to put one letter in there to search somebody.
Oh, as in like the user.
If I'm looking for a quick draw, I can just put in Q, and it'll give me everybody that has a Q within their name.
So
same way with the tickers. If you're searching a ticker and you're like, oh, I know it's AN something, you can put AN and it'll bring up all the stock tickers that is AN. So it works both ways, whether you're searching a user or a ticker. You can just put as little as one letter in to search, what you need to search for.
And we also made it very easy to follow people. That's something that I like about Twitter, but I I always thought that it could be easier. So we made it as easy as possible. When you visit your profile, not only does it show you who you're following, it also shows you who you're not following. And you can click to view all of the people you're not following, scan down through them, see who you want to follow, and just click follow.
And how will that change the landscape of your setup? You've got your people that are following, so then you'll click the people you're following. Well, that'll bring you to another screen with just what they have going on.
Yep. You can filter it to only see what the people your friends are posting on. You can filter it to see all the messages that came up with your name mentioned in it. You can click it to see just the PST penny stock tweet posts, or you can look at all the posts that are going through.
As far as where you're standing right now, you just made a strategic relationship with Investors Hub. Obviously, this is a project that will be going on for many years to come. It's a system that you're going to be perfecting, although I think out of a 10 scale, you're at a 9 or a 10 right now. I think this was a very needed tool. Are there any other relationships that you're looking at making, or, you mentioned stock charts, possibly speaking with them, anything else that you have in the works to be able to bring some more added functionality or other segments to the website?
Yeah, we're looking at websites that have forums on them, and we're looking to get penny stock tweets added to their forums. You'll see it on a lot of forums right now where you can post, you can click on Twitter or you can click on Facebook. Well, we want to add penny stock tweets in on that, so when somebody makes a post on a forum, they can click the penny stock tweet button, and it'll automatically send the message to penny stock tweets, which will in turn automatically send the same message out to the Twitter and the Facebook accounts and the iHub boards.
For somebody that was looking to add that functionality to their forum, would they come to pennystocktweets.com and click the Contact Us tab? What would be the best way to reach you about that, or maybe cross-advertising, or any of those type of situations? Would it be to go?
Yeah, they can just hit the Contact Us down the bottom of the page, send us an email, and we'll contact you and see about setting that up on your website. But what we're adding today is we're adding a button that you can upload in HTML version and put on your website for the people coming to your website can click on it and automatically follow you on penny stock tweets. Much the same as the follow me on Twitter buttons that people have already on their websites.
It's an auto follow.
We made these. Yeah, it is, and we made these like in badges, so they can be color coded to match your website colors, and you can also put your logo in also on this badge as well. So it's very functional and should be able to blend into anyone's website by the color coding.
Mm-hmm. And you can adjust the size of it. So if you if you already have Twitter and Facebook buttons up there on your website, you can adjust the size of it so that it matches the same size as the ones you have up already.
And we have square, round, rectangle, different shapes as well.
The newest thing that we have, this is a whole new feature that we're currently working on. We're hoping that it will be ready within the next couple of weeks. This is going to blow you away. We are designing a toolbar, and it's going to be a penny stock tweets toolbar.
What kind of toolbar? Like for a search engine, or?
Your toolbar will get added onto your browser. What will happen with that is, just like our plus more, you'll put your ticker into your toolbar, and then you'll just have a number of buttons on that toolbar that you can press to go to several different websites with that ticker already in the search.
Okay, so is it going to be, all right, so I'm visualizing a toolbar, so it's going to have a search tab. These other buttons, are these going to pop out and open other screens, or is it going to pop up, the...
Right on the screen that you're on.
Oh, so it'll actually be like an add-on that's just going to pop. It's like a pop-out.
Yep.
Like
yes.
For your watch lists, or what kind of things will be in the toolbar?
Well, what you'll have in the toolbar is you'll have the skyscraper views, the buzz cloud, so that you can go and how we're actually going to design this isn't set in stone yet, but we may do it so that you can preset it to the price range of stocks that you like to play, so that you can view the skyscraper views on that particular price point, and then you can change it at any time to include different price points. But if you can imagine, on the toolbar you'll have a search box, and then you'll have an iHub button, a Yahoo Finance button, a Google Finance button, a Pink Sheets button, so that when you put your ticker into that search box, you'll just hit each of those buttons and it will take you right to that site on that ticker specific page.
You don't even have to have it open. So if you're on other websites, or if you're scanning the markets or doing, whatever you're doing, you can just go right to the toolbar, and that'll be in the top. Is it going to be for all browsers, or are you working on one or two? Also, it'll be for
all
Google
browsers.
Chrome and everything.
Yep.
It's all about speed and efficiency. A lot of these traders don't understand. The best way to lose money is to have too many things going on and get confused. Yeah, I've been there.
That's right.
I've been there a million times. You're trying to enter a position, and you're trying to be on your social media platform, and you're at the end of the day you're trying to do too many things. You need to simplify the process, and this is a perfect way to be able to streamline the tools so that they're easy to use, and they're right there. When will you be releasing this toolbar?
We hope to release it within the next 3 weeks.
And another function of
And
the
it'll be free, just like the website.
Even better.
Yeah.
We all like free. What were you going to say there, Photo Chick?
also another function of the toolbar is we're going to, in the near future, there will be alerts that will come straight onto your toolbar. You won't have to go anywhere to look for. It'll just automatically pop up on the toolbar.
Oh, that's going to be great.
That's going to be awesome. Awesome feature there.
When did you say until the alerts are going to start coming out? How long did you say?
Before we'll start, we haven't determined that yet. Everybody's anticipating the first alert the Penny Stock Tweets comes out with, but
yes, but we want to be ready.
Not for a while.
We're getting everything in place, and when the time comes, you'll have that toolbar up there, and you're going to know it.
Well, yeah, I mean, 900 active traders in a month and a half. I can't imagine in 4 or 5 months you guys will have a rock solid following there. I mean, I can't think of very many even social networking platforms that are coming up. I mean, I know a public company that's a social networking platform that has less followers than Penny Stock Tweets, and they're a public company.
Yeah, and we're getting ready to start advertising this site. This is something we haven't done yet. There was a lot of things we wanted in place, and we wanted to make sure it was functioning well on the site before we took it to the next level. And that is going to start actually next week. So you're going to start seeing Penny Stock Tweets advertisements, different places throughout the web. And so we anticipate, a rapid growth from that.
We also have our own trading platform.
Yes,
yeah,
we do.
let's talk about that. I see that on here. What does that involve?
That's a real-time trading platform. It's by QuoteStream, but it's licensed out to Penny Stock Tweets. This will give you, basically,
everything
incredible screeners, level 2, time and sales, beautiful charts with all the indicators. But the best part about this, and the reason why we picked it, is the best, by far, the best news feed out there.
Best news.
This
we love it.
Platform picks up everything. I mean everything. You have to filter out the stuff you don't want, because every single news source out there comes in through this platform.
And what is this? I see right here. It's got the wireless. It's a wireless compatible, which is very important if you run out.
Yes.
Multi-screen desktop. There's a professional version. For a trader, what does something like this cost? It's very convenient to have it all in one place. I know a lot of Zecco traders, places that might not have. Well, I don't want to put anybody down. Everyone likes their own platforms, but if you're on a platform, or if you're going to 8 or 9 different sites to get the tools that you need, to have it in one place is so much more convenient once you learn the system inside and out. You can even do hotkeys and things like that to really speed up the process. This is going to be fully functional. Level 2, does it have a time and sales? Do you know offhand? Or
time and sales and level 2.
Now, if you want the level 2, you can get it with or without the level 2. But if you get it with the level 2, time and sales and everything, you're going to spend right around $50, and that's also with the news feeds and you have everything you possibly need for that price point. But if you don't need level 2, say you have it, through your broker or something, then it's going to be a little cheaper. You'll have the rest of the platform for around 30.
Well, that's not bad considering.
Yeah, to
one
put
or
that
two-
in perspective, you look at somewhere like Equity Feed, which is $70 a month for the OTC and pinks.
Yeah,
So,
I think my stock charts alone is more than that.
Mhm.
So
I think
And-
this one rivals, it easily
does.
rivals Equity Feed. It's just
Mhm.
the news feed alone just blew me away, because I have Equity Feed and I put up this one as well, and it outpaced Equity Feed.
Mhm.
now, will
And-
this do buy and sell signals? I know some of the platforms give the buy and sell signals, which for some of the early day traders that don't really know when to enter and exit trades, a lot of people trade off of the different indicators. If it tells you this is a buy or this is a sell based on this indicator, does it have anything like that?
I don't know, to be honest.
I
with
think
you.
I think
No,
they do.
I don't.
They do.
Yeah, because
Well,
I
Okay.
want to say I called QuoteStream at some point,
Uh-huh.
and I think it does. I think it's part of their advanced charting
I'm sure
technology.
it is.
Oh,
Oh,
for their advanced.
actually, yep. If you click on it, it opens up another screen. It's got wide range functionality. It talks about it right here. So
Right.
for signal traders, even though some of the
Mhm.
indicators are, a little late, on the buys and a little late on the sells, you take those indicators mixed with your own personal strategy, and it's a good way to get an additional opinion.
Oh, it is, for sure.
Are there
Sure.
any other features that we missed on penny stock tweets?
There's so many features
I
in there.
know.
Yeah,
I'm
there
sure
really
we
is.
did.
We have.
We have
Can
a
I go through
very
some of the
nice
filters?
screener.
Now that
Uh,
screener, does that go down to 000 stocks?
It will show them, but unfortunately,
fine-tune
until
them.
we updated, you're looking at every stock under 25 cents.
Okay.
So we're going to take this screener and we're going to
We should
integrate
design.
it with the 3D skyscraper, and we're going to tweak it a little bit so that you'll be able to screen and get a skyscraper view of the results.
Oh, that would be cool.
Because the visual, once you see this visual, it's so much easier than looking at figures.
I agree with you night and day. I mean, I've said that since the first day I went on the site. When you're looking at numbers and hard data, it just takes more time for you to recognize what's going on, and a lot of times you even miss things. But when you open up the skyscraper, it's plain as day. I mean, right there, you
Yeah,
could
it's
pick
all
out the
mapped
top
out
four in
for
a
you.
second. Right, exactly. So
Yeah.
I think the visual effect really helps speed up the process and increase the efficiency of it.
Yeah, so that's another thing we have in the works, and like we said, we have so many things in our heads and so many things that we've talked about that we drive our developer nuts, but he loves it too at the same time.
He's done a lifetime job, believe me.
Right.
Between
we
me
were
and Malika, no, bud. He's got
we
a
were
lifetime
very lucky to find a developer that actually trades penny stocks.
Yes.
Exactly.
So
I can't even find
the thing
mine.
about it is everything we tell him, he gets it, he understands it, and he knows why.
That's perfect. We're all watching and anticipating the next move or expansion here. It's really been great to watch this just kind of come up from the ground up. It's a stable platform. You got your watch list, hot stocks. It's got the whole community there. These are traders. That's the biggest thing. These are people that are there trading stocks. And even more than some of the other places that I've seen, some of the biggest stock forums or whatever, you get a lot of guys on there that are just kind of spewing the same ticker. Here, you're getting a streamlined view of, it's not this board or that board. It's all one central location, 900 people putting what they have on radar.
Yeah, it's bringing it all in together and then separating it out by ticker.
Now, as you grow, other opportunities come onto the table. For myself, for example, we're in the promotional business, obviously, and we also look for traders that we want to pay attention to. Is hey, we like to get our name out there just as much as the next guy. As you start to hit 1,000, as you start to hit 1,500, 2,000 active traders, what are my options if I want to help get my name out there with penny stock tweets? Is there any way for me to increase my exposure with you guys as a promoter? I mean, can I in any way take advantage of this platform or any kind of advertising? What do you guys have available there?
On the main page, we have no advertising, but on our home page, which is the landing page that people come to when they first visit the site, or if they're logged out of the site and they need to log in, we do have a featured newsletter section.
Oh, okay.
And which we're proud to say we have Stock Legends in there.
Exactly.
Which links back to your site.
And so now, over and above that, are you going to do anything in the future? Like, let's say I have a ticker. Let's say, tomorrow we're going to be on ticker ABCD. Is there going to be any way in the future to get a front row seat to the investors, maybe for a daily ticker, or other than the promote button where you can see where all the promoters have their stocks? Is there going to be anything in addition to really get a front page highlight at any point?
Well, that's something we have not decided yet.
Yes, we've been discussing this and trying to figure out the direction that we want to go with penny stock tweets as far as that goes, and it's still in discussions. Mm-hmm. And but for right now, I mean, it's just very easy for you guys to advertise your stocks. It's very easy for the users to find what's being advertised for the day, and then if you use the site while you're running your plays, people's going to see it in the streams, and then it's going to build the buzz. And so then they're going to see it, also in our 3D map in the skyscraper view. They'll see it in the buzz cloud. So really, I mean, an active IR person would be able to use the site quite well to get all the exposure that they possibly need. And then, of course, the functionality of being able to get a message out, at the click of a button to Twitter, Facebook, iHub, and PST all at the same time, is truly an amazing thing in itself, being able to get that coverage you need fast.
And the same goes to the average trader.
Yes.
I mean, the thing about it is penny stock tweets, penny stocks, like it or not, they move on buzz. It's typically the more people are talking about it, the more attention is on the stock, the more volume there is on the stock. So, for people that, just buy into a stock, a lot of traders will just go out there and start talking about it because they want to bring attention to the stock that they've already invested in.
It's streamlined. I think it's perfect. We've been following you from the beginning. We're really excited to see where you're going. If you guys have any other add-ons or anything else going on with the site, we'd love for you to come back onto the radio show and keep our listeners in the loop with all your steps. I know I use this platform daily. We would like all of our listeners to go to pennystocktweets.com and sign up so you can utilize these tools. Remember, at the end of the day, when you go to work, the more tools that you have to get the job done, the easier it is. If you're a cabinet maker and you're going in with one or two tools, well, I'll put my cabinets up against yours any day, and the same thing's true here. So utilize the functionality and make your trading easier. It's been great having you, Photo Chick, and Nil Bud on our radio show today, and we
thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
The whispers are true. Games that are legendary. StockLegends.com.
All information posted by Stock Legends for informational purposes only should not be construed as an offer or solicitation to offer or buy or sell securities. By listening to this radio show or this poster or this video by Stock Legends, you are accepting sole responsibility for your own investment decisions. By reading messages, doing so in videos, or listening to the radio show, you acknowledge that the information hereunto contained within this message or video provided or radio show is for general opinionated discussion and for informational purposes only, therefore should not be considered to be complete, precise, accurate, or current investment advice. Be aware that internet persons, videos, and so on, not only on the original message board where this disclaimer was discovered or in this video show, but other message boards that is not limited to the originated video of the website, may be increasing or decreasing our share positions in security regardless of what they are saying or posting or construing on this radio show, and may be compensated in some way or form by a third-party investor in the company mentioned posted in this video or radio show. The non-affiliated third parties compensated may or may not have shares to liquidate, which could affect the stock price. Assume that any security mentioned is owned by Stock Legends and may be buying or selling, adding or subtracting away from the position that they have, regardless of anything said, inferred, construed, or referred to. Believe before or after starting company profile. Always do your own due diligence prior to making investment decisions. Never borrow money and buy penny stocks. Always remember penny stocks are very risky. You could possibly lose your wife, keys, hard house, and everything else comes along with it. Also, be aware that information provided concerning certain securities contains forward-looking statements that involve risks and uncertainties. As in any investment, never invest in a penny stock unless you can afford to lose your full or entire investment. We completely oblige by the Fifth Amendment for this full entire show.